In today's video, we are going to talk about easy versus recovery runs. There is a difference, I promise you. Please stay to the end of this video if you are a runner trying to get better. If you ask any 10 runners, honestly, I think at best, 1 out of 10 will understand the difference between these two because it is just not spoken about hardly at all. So I am going to go through that with you today and explain the differences between the two step by step and explain when also to use them. So it's honestly quite simple. Easy runs are like both kind of get used interchangeably. The terms just get used interchangeably. It's just, easy versus recovery runs. Oh, I'm doing a recovery run today. I'm doing an easy run today. And I understand it kind of sounds the same in this, that, and the other. But if you really study a lot of charts or a lot of the different coaching philosophies over the years and stuff like that, you'll notice that there's a pretty big range of paces suggested, especially if you put your best times into like a VDOT chart or something like that, and you get average paces for your tempo runs and threshold runs and long runs and then easy runs and this, that, and the other. And you definitely get some different coaching philosophies. But the biggest differences are, easy runs are really there to support long-term development. They're there to support, kind of like basically your overall mileage. Like you can only run so many tempo runs and interval workouts and this and the other. It should be pretty small percentage. Let's just, for the sake of the video, let's say 80-20% of your workouts will probably be much closer to your more 80 something percent to if we're getting into sprint speeds and stuff, like 100% of effort. Or if we're talking heart rate maxes, then that changes a little bit different. But with that said, it's really there to kind of support long-term development. It builds your aerobic base, builds your cardiovascular fitness, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we could word it a bunch of different ways. But they really should be used in combination together. Even if you're a beginner runner, they should immediately be used because recovery runs are there to recover from yesterday's effort or to continuously recover if you haven't recovered in the time frame that you thought you would. And it shouldn't just be viewed as the same thing, because recovery is literally like you're focused on not trying to do a specific pace. In my opinion, I think recovery runs you should just kind of let your body do the talking whilst having like an upper echelon, because it can be easy to kind of get in a flow and ignore it, or just run with people and ignore your recovery pace, but you kind of feel good, so you just do it anyway. And then you're dipping into more easy run type of category or effort. And it's not all just paces either. It's not just simply here's this bottom number. Let's say 10-minute pace is the slowest recovery pace you do, and then it goes up to 9-minute pace. And then from 8:59 to, let's say, 7:30 is your easy, or let's say 8:59 to, let's say like 7:45 or something like that. A little spitballing here, but that's like your easy run pace. It's like it'll follow like a decent spectrum most of the time, but every day is going to be different. And if you follow your heart rate training, you'll actually notice that some days you just your paces will be quite a bit different, but you feel awful. Like you might be going a lot faster one day and you don't feel good, and it's like, okay, but a lot faster is relative, of course, but like let's say you're going 15-20 seconds a mile under what you think you should be. Well, you're going to have to kind of learn from those situations and maybe take notes as you go through the season. What happened to you the next 2 or 3 days? Did your long run 3 days later feel like crap? Did your interval workout 2 days later not feel good? Whatever it is. Recovery runs can also be used for, I think, kind of like a random need. Like sometimes you just don't see it coming and you're just overloaded. It's a good, I guess, combative element to overtraining, because sometimes you need like an entire like recovery week. I mean, after a half marathon, you should have at least 7 to 10 days of just complete and utter recovery. Sometimes literally just, no running. Sometimes recovery runs should be cross training, and easy runs too. But recovery runs it can take the pounding off the physical body as well. And that's a part of my other rationale with it too. Even though easy running is easy running, and you're not physically trying to get too high in your heart rate or your effort, that's great, but your physical body may need to go slower as well. And so you may notice that certain things, some aches and pains that you get, maybe it's just, maybe you get like, maybe you're working on your calves and they're just not really strong enough for a certain number of miles per week, but you're kind of pushing up against it. And it's this like 6-week block that you're in. You may need to throw in an extra recovery run in your 7 to 10 day cycles over an easy run, given that you're now racing more, let's say in this, let's say a peak phase of the season or something like that, where you're doing higher caliber workouts, you're going to probably need more time to recover, especially if you're not in high school and college and stuff like that, where you recover like this, people staying out all night and having the race of their life 7 days later. And, you know, it's just a different world. So you're going to recover differently as you get older, 25, 30 years old. You won't notice it a whole lot. 30 to 35, maybe slight. And then you start getting past that. And depending on your history, you're not going to recover as quick. And so as you age, recovery runs need to be used more frequently, in my opinion. And I think this is where people make some of the biggest mistakes, is not planning these two things out or being willing to change it on the fly based on how they feel. And a pro tip, like, don't be afraid to change in the middle of the run. Like, you might feel amazing. You're going off for a 5-mile run. This is something you do every Thursday. You might feel amazing for a couple miles, and then you kind of start picking it up, or you just simply, you're at like the bottom, or like the, I guess, top fastest part of maybe your easy run pace, but then you kind of start feeling sluggish. It's like, just slow down. You're not doing a workout. You don't need to push paces. Paces and watches and people's Strava and stuff is literally one of the biggest detractors for people's long-term success, their injury history, and how well they stay motivated and healthy. It's so underrated. And of course, I'll be posting more videos. I've been posting a video a day. I'll post more videos in some of these topic areas, relative to getting to past easy runs and recovery runs, and going into long runs, and how similar is your long run pace to an easy run pace, and this, that, and the other. Yeah, I think going through my notes here, honestly, I think that's it. Not every run is supposed to make you tired. Not every run is supposed to be this big all end all. You don't need to worry about pace in a recovery run. Utilize them more than you normally do, and really just plan it. Like, sometimes find a coach. If you're looking for a coach, find one that does this sincerely. Like, find somebody that knows, that has, like ask them on the phone, or ask them in an email, what do you think the difference between easy and recovery runs are? I've had some trouble with this in the past, and I'm looking for guidance. And see what they say. Honestly, I think this tells a lot about a good coach versus not a bad coach, but somebody that just needs to learn. And I think we get often too into, like, also ask, on just a side note, like, how much are they into, like, heart rate and, like, tracking all this stuff? Heart rate's really good, but I think some people will get really too into tracking a certain thing, and there's too many factors to involve. And that's out of the scope of this video, but I just wanted to throw that in there because it was, like, top of mind, and it can really impact this topic of easy versus recovery runs. So there you go. I'm going to leave that at that. I'm trying to shorten my videos to like 8 to 10 minutes versus like 10 to 13 that I've been doing. But if you found this helpful, please give me a like and subscribe, and see you on the other side.